I told Joshua yesterday, so I told him the little boy walking in front of her. The old man was shouting, telling the boy, degree, wait for me. Out of curiosity, I asked the old woman, why are you calling this boy degree? She said, I sent the mother to school. This is what she brought back. That I going to be awarded degrees, hope you are awarded degree and not human beings. So we're talking about why 70% should be regarded as an A. A lot of us gave champagne reasons. Heard of the concept of you can't beat them, you join them. Have we all heard of the concept of you can't beat them, you join them? Yeah. I was asking my students, supposing when I went back from school, you met 3 hefty boys beating up your dad. You cannot even carry the leg of one of them. What will you do? He said, I will fight them till they finish. But you said if you can't beat them, you try them. So the premise of that act, how come over time, what we are going at 70% is excellent. And the reasons we gave made a lot of sense. However, as scholars, I always teach my children, my students, to query things. So it's really when you query ideas, that new ideas can come up. Like Madam rightly pointed out, the sound they say is not the true test of knowledge. The students we teach, there are some who know that are extremely very, very brilliant. But for one reason or the other, during the course of the examination, they may not perform very well. I think it's on the basis of that our forefathers, our forebears, believe that once the student has been able to get from his we regard that student as an excellent student. But in research, if you have a population of or sample of 100, and you're only able to gather 70 questionnaires that you analyzed, we always ask you why the attrition of 30%. That you have not done your job very well. For those of us who have attempted higher degrees, for those of us who have done researches, if you present such before you examine, the question will always be, how come you lose 30? The food for thought today is, shouldn't we begin to ask ourselves again, why not 80%? Why not 90%? Why not 100 over 100? Because if our target continues to remain at 70, once we are able to train the students to obtain 70, we have done exceedingly well. Because that excellence rubs off on us. If a student gets 70, you shake your head that you are a good teacher. Just as the student has flunked 30%, you have also flunked 30%. Because you can do better than 70%. You can teach or train the student to get 80, 90, 95. It does happen. In some calculations, mathematics-oriented courses, 100 over 100. You know what we're writing was that the student cannot get 100 over 100. Because then we're looking at tenses, dotting I's and crossing T's. But it's mathematically oriented problem. Once the student knows the formula, knows how to interpret the formula, the student may end up getting 100. So I asked that question just to draw our consciousness to the fact that 70% is not enough. Even though we target as excellent, you can do better than 70%. If all our students are getting that 70%, it shows that diligently we are doing our jobs. We are teaching them, and they are assimilating whatever it is that we are teaching. Ladies and gentlemen, that should be our target. That is the next level where we are now in ABSU State University. Not just to rely on 70 to show that we are doing well. 70% is no longer good enough. So we'll make progress. Thank you. Now I was asking how you classify your results. And you did say that A, B, C, D, E, which eventually will combine your first class, second class, or second class is over, third class, and then pass. Of course, students graduate with their fair attended. If you fail all your courses, we decide to tell you go home. How would you graduate? You have graduated and with F. Good question. Madam is asking, what will such a student do with their F? There is this joke a long time ago. The student got F in every other subject except agriculture. And the student was doing advice to go and become a farmer. And the student said to become a dental. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, that's the only thing the student is good at. Go to the farm and do what to do. Some of us will read agric, and we are looking for white collar jobs. What did you read? Agriculture. What are you supposed to do? Go and farm. But the mistake most of them make is that when you mention farm, they think it's carrying the whole alone that is a farm. Fish farming, piggery, and so on and so forth. If all of us are farmers, we will be starving today. So as private practice, people should try and think of accepting farming as a side also, according to our students. Now, if you have 4.50 and above, that is first class. If you have 3.50 to 4.49, that is second class upper. If you have 2.40 to 3.49, that is second class lower, which our students call gentleman's degree. I don't want trouble. And that is where the bulk of our students ends up. 2-2. University, take your 2. Me, I keep 2. All of us, no winner. No winner, no focus. Yes, draw game. Third class, 1.50 to 2.36. While passes, 1.00 to 1.49. The reason why some students still end up with pass is because as academic advisors, we do not do our jobs. Every academic session, students are supposed to be advised. Those that will repeat, especially those who fall within this bracket of 1.00 to 1.9. We tell them to repeat the semester, or as the case may be, academic sessions. But because we are always rushing every semester, we don't get to advise students to repeat semesters or sessions. That is why after 4 years or 5 years or 6 years program, as the case may be, different students graduating with their pass. If you are my child, you will knock your head very well. So bring me to the class or pass. As a teacher, if my child comes home with 2-2, I will see knock the head very well. The question is, what were you doing in school? Why did you go to school? agreed, all heads are not equal. Our level of assimilation and understanding differs. But I'm one person that I've come to believe that if you try hard enough, first class, any student can attain it. It's all about discipline, commitment, and doggedness. The way our students read determines most of the times classroom result they are going to get. If you advise your student right from inception, from the blast of the whistle, the beginning of everything, to begin to read his or her book, such a student will get nothing less than 2-1 for obvious reasons. You cannot give what you do not have. As a student, may interest some of you that I started my higher education in Abeokuta. I was in Oshema between 1986 to 1989. I won't roam the streets of Benin for about 3 years doing nothing. My father died in 1979. My mother was selling food in the motorbike. So my senior brothers were barely trying to get themselves educated. So there was no person to sit you down and tell you that it was doing this. So we were all struggling to survive. So I managed to finish secondary school. Got F9 in mathematics. Got F9 in which other subject. So as I stand before you, I have 4 credits and 2 passes. And I told myself that would be the last time I will ever fail. That was the last time I ever failed. All through my HCSBMS, I was sharing here. All through my undergraduates, through my master's, I have 2 master's degrees, through my PhD. By His grace, I have never failed any course. Imagine that don't clap. I'm just narrating this story so that we can tell our students that they can do better than what they are doing presently. F9 mathematics. Thank God then, mathematics was not compulsory for you to continue your higher degrees. But it was when I got to Michelle, and I realized that mathematics is one of the easiest subjects. How come I failed mathematics in secondary school? That phobia, that bandwagon effect. Maths is very difficult. Before meeting the teacher, I hated the subject. Before entering for mathematics, I already believe that I cannot pass mathematics. So for that simple reason, any little challenge in the class, my mind skips up, start thinking of something else, no longer paying attention. Of course, when I got to WAEC, I knew what was going to come. I only just went to confirm that it is F9. And I never bothered to remedy it because I wanted to become a lawyer, so you don't need mathematics. I continued. After wasting some years, it wasn't possible to have money to re-enroll. I remember that there's something like NC. So that is how my journey to Abeokuta started. So I'm not new to Abeokuta. I actually spent 5 years in Ibadan before going back to the university. After NC, I worked for 2 years. I was in Campus, a campus link magazine. Those of you who are old enough, they have heard of it. But of course, I'm sure that company has done. So now what am I saying? The idea of students believing that they're not capable of doing better than second class lower. We human beings are capable of anything. It's just the right motivation and encouragement that we need. So taking you back to the reason why I said 70% is no longer good enough. We can do better than 70%. We can encourage our students to forget about gentleman's results. ABSU is not interested in take your 2, let me take my 2 to 2. We don't want your game. Get us a 2-1 or get us a first class. That's the interest level. And as lecturers, we should continue to push this target so that we produce students who will stand out in society. If you've been listening to this, if you go to law school every year, students will have their state university always excel. Medical school happens to be one of the best aspects because 2-2 It's not good enough. 70% is not good enough. We can do better than this. And from the crop of colleagues I'm seeing, with your level of commitment we have noticed since we work in this one, since the last time we came, I know that you can do better than 70%. Now, back to the issue of 1.00 to 1.49 pass. As academic advisors, remember what I said, the results will be submitted within 4 and 6 weeks. If we stick to this, we will know when the student is not doing well and want to advise him or her to repeat, to avoid coming up with the pass. For that simple reason, our regulations shows how we can withdraw and readmit students in the university. You can withdraw based on academic reasons. You can withdraw for voluntary reasons. You can withdraw based on health ground. You can withdraw based on disciplinary reasons. And finally, unauthorized withdrawal. On the issue of academics, a student may be obliged to withdraw permanently from the university if he or she still makes a cumulative grade point average of less than 1.4. So if you are advising the students, if we submit our results regularly and we are monitoring their progress, if this student is within this range of 1.49, we should be able to advise the students to sit up so that it will lead to exposure, it will lead to withdrawal. But if we are not monitoring their progress, we are not submitting our results on time, it becomes difficult for us to know the level of performance and to be able to assist them to sit up and study harder. How did I stop feeling? When I enter and say, let me digress a bit. There's this joke, they say a student was getting F9 in every subject. If you take him to this school, he will fail everything. Parents try another school, the same F. We now took him to a Catholic school. And when the result for the 10 came back, the young man got A's in all the subjects. And they were shocked and asked him, how did he manage? He said when he entered the school and saw the crucifix, when they crucified Jesus Christ, he said he knew that he don't play here. He didn't want to be crucified like Jesus Christ. So he sat down and started reading. So before he was taken to that school, realized that he had it in him. He needed the right motivation to sit up and read. Most of our students, they are studying habit. It takes that bandwagon effect. In the evening, everyone is going to class to read. They also carry their book and go to the class to read. But they forget that our level of distraction differs. And the typical example, when I was in Australia, a few kilometers away from me, in my year one, my friends would carry book, they are going for evening lessons. I'm carrying now because I remember that I managed to come to Australia. If I don't pass, the debt school fees cannot be guaranteed. I can't afford to stay 1 year beyond 3 years in Australia. So I was forcing myself to read. At the end of the first step, that our performances, even though I didn't feel any subject, wasn't fantastic. So I started asking myself, what is the best method I should apply? I discovered that I get distracted easily. If I'm learning and I'm reading, any person passes by, I must raise my head to find out who just passed me. By the time I bring back my head to continue reading, I would have forgotten the line where I was. I'll start. Before I finish that page, another person will pass. I will do the same thing. It's more than this will work. Second term, when my mate said they were going for evening lessons, I went down my bed and began to sleep. By the time they come back, and I enter the bed to begin to sleep, I will wake up and begin to read. That was between me and the whole world. The whole world is asleep. I am awake. So whether I like it or not, by fire by force, I must read this book. no person to distract me. So I thought that I was concentrating better. It worked for me. The next step, they couldn't believe the difference between my results first term and second term. And that is how it is. So if we are advising our students, we should know what should work for them, not bandwagon effects. Those who are like me, if they continue to carry their book and go to the class at night, they are just wasting their time because too many distractions. All of this we can begin to do so that we can get more than 70%. So that we don't begin to get pass mark. My friend asked a while ago, somebody who fail or get pass mark, what will they do with the result? That's why I said, if you are related to your document, it means the money spent on you was wasted. People are walking about already in the streets of highbrow towns or cities looking for a job in first class, and they can't get. And you with your pass, you are looking for the same job. If you and me were the employers of labor, will you leave first class and go and take pass? The answer is, of course, no. Let's forget that Nigeria is the way it is. Anything goes. What we talk about now is who do you know, not the class or degree or what's in your head. But in the good old days, it is what you can offer that will get you employed. Nigeria will get back to that. The earlier we begin to prepare our children for that time, the better for all of us. So, the number of reasons can be adduced for withdrawal. I made mention of them. Voluntarily, because of financial reasons, some students also withdraw themselves. The wise ones, before withdrawing, are expected to put in an application asking for their admission to be deferred. Once they write, you file and wait for whenever they think they are ready. However, there are stipulated durations you cannot exceed. If you exceed the duration, you can no longer be re-admitted. So it's good to bear all of this in mind. Of course, some students withdraw themselves without any authorization. Especially now that get rich quick syndrome is everywhere. Everyone wants to drive Lexus or GLK or Formatic without working hard. I told my son in school, please don't look at this your schoolmates. The idea of getting rich quick didn't start today. You ask your forefathers, will tell you of money rituals, even in their own time. So why is it that the one for this generation is different? Everything about this our present crop of younger ones is different. Their dress mode, especially the women, tights that should be an inner wear. They will not only wear, they will raise the t-shirt as if it's a long t-shirt, they will raise it. But most of the time, they wear t-shirt that will stand it. And you are wearing that. And you are in the motor park, waiting for vehicle to travel. One of our former places, somebody went to complain that the child was raped. Went to the child, and the child was skimpily dressed. Here and then they listen. Ask the mother, why won't this child be raped? What God has given you, so you to cover it properly. You are showing it to the whole world. So what do you expect the young man to do? So in a similar manner, we need to look at the activities of our students, especially those who are eyeing this Yahoo group, who wants to go and join the Yahoo group. They are more prone to all of this. The young man is wearing one earring here. Another 1 year. I've seen progression, they are making progress. I've seen one with two. Let's say to be 3. Are we competing with the women? It's not in our culture to encourage such. Those are the ones eventually will end up withdrawing without authorization. Because the moment they begin to mimic and imitate those out there, they are quarter to So if you begin to notice that their character is changing, they don't come here when coming to class anymore. If you ask, they say, I forgot. Better, according to the students, close bumper to bumper. If you know the parent of that child, you need to draw their attention to the characteristics you are observing. It is one leg in, one leg out. I'm saying all of this because we are trying to ensure that we retain our students. These are future leaders of tomorrow. Don't say it's none of my business, because some of them will tell you that it's my life. Let me live it. But his or her life eventually will affect our lives directly or indirectly. Students who don't go to school tomorrow will become terrorists. And by then, our lives are equally not safe. Even though it's their life, they are living. But us is threatened by their actions. The level of insecurity in Nigeria wasn't always like this. Was it? In the time past, you can be grabbing and tell neighbor, please look after my children. I'll be bound so and so time. They will eat whatever your neighbor is eating. You are not afraid. In the time past, you can leave your doors open. The way you left your items, your furniture, your properties, come back, they are there. Nothing happens. But today, even with electric fence, you don't trust your neighbor enough to look after your siblings. In the past, if you misbehave in the street, your neighbor would beat you very well and tell you that when your father come and reports you to your parents. He or she will report. Your parents will give you second round of beating for misbehaving. But today, touch your neighbor's son or daughter, who say you? Your parents and the police will come for you. That is part of why we are finding it difficult dealing with the crop of undergraduates we have today. Because the society has failed in participating in raising these kids. The failure of the society has translated into the difficulties and challenges we are having as lecturers, imparting knowledge. So our job is a difficult one. Our reward, by His grace, will start from here and end in heaven. But we need to tighten our belt and go beyond 70%. For students to be readmitted, certain conditions are must be spelled out in our Bible. Students who withdraw from the university for any reason whatsoever shall be required to clear any outstanding debts. Very important. Before they may be considered for readmission. If you withdraw whether voluntarily, whether for academic reasons, or whether for health reasons, or whether for disciplinary reasons, or even unauthorized, if it's still within the stipulated time and want to be readmitted, the first condition is that all debts must be paid. That we are saying in the first part of the condition is for you to qualify to write the exam, you must have paid your school fees. Because we register our courses online. If you don't pay your school fees, you don't get to register. If you don't get to register, automatically go far. Because results are also uploaded online. Before we upload results, download the students' class list. It's only those students who have paid their fees that their names will appear on the list, and you cannot add any name to that list. All you can do is continue assessment, 25 over 30, type it in. Exam, 50 over 70, as the case may be, type it in. The system automatically sums it up and give you the grade. So you won't say, because this is my best, I didn't see the name, let me add the name, add the grade. So all debts must encourage the students to encourage their sponsors to pay their fees as at when due, because part of the condition for re-admissions, when the student withdraws based on any of these conditions we give for withdrawals. Any student obliged to withdraw from the university on grounds of disciplinary action who later gets re-admitted shall be required to withdraw permanently from the university if he or she is involved in another incident on account of which disciplinary action obliging him or her to withdraw from the university is confirmed. A while ago, in our first session, I was talking of a court. The judge will tell you, this is your first time of committing a crime. Your sins are forgiven. Go and sin no more. In a similar manner, we withdraw you based on the first crime you committed. I will not readmit you to commit the crime again. There's nothing like I have paid my school fees or whatever. I have passed on my courses. You have one opportunity, excuse my language, to fuck up. I haven't fucked up once. I will readmit you. If you fuck up again, we'll treat your fuck up. I send you home permanently. You are going to be doing the same thing here because now, what God has joined together. That is why I'm taking time to read to you what ABSU is doing. Time limit for readmission. Students who withdraw from the university for any reason and who are not readmitted within the period of 3 continuous years from the date of their withdrawal may not normally be considered for readmission. However, should he or she return to the university, this or she may not be credited with any course taken in the year prior to withdrawal. You have 3 years grace to withdraw, either voluntarily or as a result of health or disciplinary actions or unauthorized withdrawal, provided within 3 years they apply to be readmitted. If for any reason after 3 years you are unable to, eventually you reapply and Senate in her wisdom considers your readmission. But just know that all those courses you wrote before your withdrawal, according to my students, that is gone forever. So know that your company is to start from the scratch. But if you return within 3 years, those courses you have written and passed will be kept for you because it's within the stipulated period. However, if you exceed the maximum of 3 years and then choose to come back, Senate will consider you come back, but those courses you wrote before is time back, no longer anymore, more than forward. That's what that section is trying to tell us. Expulsion from the university. Expulsion connotes permanent termination of studentship on grounds of gross misconduct. So anytime the word crops up, expelled, note that the offense is of a high magnitude and nothing can be done to rehabilitate the students. We have our admission requirements because of time, and colleagues will also talk to us. I won't dwell on that, except to remind us. I was telling my colleagues when I saw some of your students earlier, so it was like this small when I started higher school. Was it because of my age? Everyone else looking small. But statutory, the rule stipulates that for any student to be admitted into ABSU, at least minimum of 60 years. So please be conscious of their years. Even though we know that parents falsify years, they tell you that this is their child or what is too intelligent, they go and swear affidavit to claim that the child is 16 years. But when you are interacting with the child, out of ignorance, the child will tell you the exact who he or she is. But just pretend and stick to that affidavit because that is what that concerns you. As long as the child can cope academically. But let's digress a bit. I keep asking some of my parents, where are you rushing this child to? No matter how intelligent the child is, a child is a child. There are phases for development. Those things you're supposed to do as a child, do them. Because you can only be a child once in your lifetime. But if you rush them through childhood into adulthood, that's where a lot of them fall victims when they meet the wrong friends, they are influenced easily because they find it difficult to discern between right and wrong, what is morally acceptable and what is not morally acceptable. So let's encourage them, let's encourage parents to allow these children to mature well enough to become undergraduates. Do you know where undergraduate students are regarded as undergraduate students? Ladies and gentlemen, do you know why undergraduate students are regarded as undergraduate students? Because they are going to be capable of doing their researches. For you to be capable of doing research, you must have come of age to decide on this idea. Let me find out what makes.
Professor Funobo has done very well. Done very well. I just want to use 1 or 2 minutes to emphasize on some of the issues we discussed, just for emphasis sake. They talked about attendance register. At the beginning of the discussion, they talked about attendance register. And they asked whether you use attendance register. I said yes. And he also told us the consequences of not using that attendance register. The only thing I want to say here is this: that please, as colleagues, we don't take the attendance register yourself. No. It's the cost rep. It's the cost rep that takes the attendance register. Their job is to sign. Don't take the attendance register, it counts. They will sign. By that signing, you remove your personal interest to that number. Because there are some cases that will come. What we say is the attendance register. Now move ahead and tell the panel, even the attendance register, we did not touch. The students. Take the attendance, take attendance, calculate, and you sign. Now there's one question I want to ask. Where do you take your attendance register? Is it before you begin your lectures or at the end of lectures, please? How do you do it here? They can't be during the lectures. Yes. No, just wait. Where do you take your attendance register?
Once I entered the class,
Yes.
now, during the course of class is going from 8 to 6, passing the attendance and pressing so we are taking the attendance spans lecture period.
Do you think that is the best? How do you control someone taking attendance for someone that is not there? You're not in control of that because you're doing their work. You're teaching. I think the best is at the end of lectures. When you finish your lectures, you step aside. The professor takes the attendance. Takes over. Takes attendance. So that you monitor that what is taking are actually there. Because these students can do too many things. They put you to trouble. Some of them are going here. Some of them may be in area. You know, what about area? That's the popular marketing of that. They be there selling. And even this was somebody's money. Who will use it and take care of himself? The person will be thinking. Even the caller, they will say present, and it's not there. That is why, for you lecturers, you must make sure that what you are signing is fair. That is on attendance register. Then he also talked about some aspects of examination. Okay. There is what we call marking scheme. See it here. talked about market scheme. Okay. Remember, this institution is an affiliate of Abia State University. All questions that are going to administer to students must come to Tulu, must come to Tulu for us to check the standard. It must come to Abia State University. I was talking about trying to set up a exam committee, look through that. Yes. At the end, that question will be packaged to Abia State University for us to make sure that that standard is kept. And those questions comes with the marking scheme. There's something Prof was saying here. You know, he was trying to save all of us. There are situations, a script, as he said, is sent for the marking. The decision of whoever is going to remark will be based on their marking scheme. The person who is going to review is not coming to take the marking scheme. The new person is ready to submit your marking scheme, which you have already submitted earlier. You can look for it. Take the question paper, take the script, and send out. That's external examiner will base his argument on this marking scheme to judge the student. Because it's on this marking scheme that every student in the class will judge. That is why, for us to run away from some of this crisis, we obey simple regulations. Set your questions, design your market scheme, so that your market will be consistent. So that if there's a big problem, and you don't have any problem, you bring out your market scheme. And in that market scheme, scores are allotted. You don't change posts. You don't change posts. That is why it's you did the teaching. That's what we call course content. There is a course content. As a teacher, you abide by your course content. You don't abide by your own whims and caprices of what you know about the course. No. There is a content which is already given. I saw, actually came with
I left them in proposal.
We also saw yours. Okay, I showed you the course content of each course. If you feel that that content has a problem, the department should review it. You don't go ahead on your own. Because you think you're more intelligent than the department and change the course content. No. You will be penalized. Okay? Whatever you have, that is why at the beginning of the session, where the department will call a meeting, and then they say, what is your course outline? You know, there's a course outline, there is a course outline. You present your course outline so that they know what you are teaching the students. That is right. If there is a new development, that's where you work, where there are changes, from the head of the department, so that you change these things. Because you can't continue with the old order. It's very, very important we review some of these things. It's important. It's important. Then, I've talked about moderation of questions. Okay, moderation of questions. When we finish yours, bring it over. We will also go ahead and change things we feel that is not right. Send it back to you for examination. Because ours, because you define it. Because already you've sent to us your course content. We also have your course outline. Okay? Then we look at the questions. That questions may expose you as a lecturer who is very busy. It exposes you. There are times when we receive some of these questions, we send it to some of our professors. They will say, no, this is like secondary school. Now, by that saying no, what is the probability that you actually do the teaching if you're unable to set a standard question? A graduating student, a degree exam, you say degree exam, question 1 is 3 or 4 words. Question 2 is 6 words. Question 3, just like question 5. The man cuts the paper into one little thing and says a degree exam. You know, sometimes they query it. Remember when they query it, it's you that query it indirectly. Because they reject the question and say, reset. And automatically it's going to affect the timetable already scheduled by the university. That is why we do our teaching, then set questions that are appropriate. Remember what Prof said, we don't set questions to punish. There are some colleagues that will do that. Don't set questions to punish anybody. No. You do the teaching. You know exactly how to test the students. It's very important to adopt these procedures. Now, there's one other thing I want to talk about. It's cost them. When we talk about courses, we look at that regulation. Yes. We talk about compulsory courses. That's what they say. Compulsory. They say required. They say elective. One thing you must know is that all courses registered by a student, you must pass them. All. As long as you registered it. When these words are very important to guide you during registration. A compulsory course you must take. You can't leave the university. The word elective, look at the booklets. You say A or B, that all makes it elective. The register A, which you must also pass at A. But the register A, so registers B. When in the same class, 3 lectures are approved for that of lecturer A. You go to that of lecturer B. Why? Because these are electives. But we must pass this course for us to live. As teachers, we have advised the students. These are part of our job. As advisors to tell them, these are things you must do. So you don't keep yourself here. Because when they keep themselves, they will blame you, not themselves. It's that's who get the lecture. And the parents don't know that no one lecturer can fail you. It's a cumulative result. A cumulative result. You don't, so like you use an e-administration, right? Use an e-administration, which means you upload your results. By that upload, that result is open to parents to see at any time. Son or daughter will not allow you to look at it. Why don't you ask him, give me your access code? Let me go in and see how the result is. So that correction will begin at that level. But you, the lecturer, will always from time to time admire your results. You see your results, how are your results? There's a problem. It's not early to correct these problems. Not when the person finally, there's nothing much you can do at that level. It's about the place. It's important we have them out. Now, mark sheets. There is a document we call mark sheets. In Abia State University, when we're using the analog procedure, this is how our mark sheet is. These are mark sheets. When we're using analog. Since we've done digital, this is the way our mark sheet is. Okay? It is expected that you, after upload, you do a printout, okay, and send to fill in your name as the examiner and sign. Send to the head of the department. You also fill and sign, and then to the dean. Okay, it's off. They are ready with the result. This for administration. Download it, sign it, and keep it. And the template, you can simplify the whole thing. Okay, you can simplify the whole thing. Your job there is now putting the net slot, putting the critical assessment. The system generates the total automatically and the grade. Okay, that's how it does it. Generate the total and the grade. Even if you make a mistake, doing the input, the system will know that's a mistake. If the continuous assessment is not there, remember that 0 is a unit and not a dummy cell. Dummy cell is different from 0. Okay? If there is no continuous assessment, you put 0. If you create a dummy cell, which means it's inconclusive result, the result is not right. Put 0. If you know that it is 0, actual 0, primary 0, that concludes the result. You go ahead and give it F. Put that at all. You go ahead and give it F, which means you cannot edit it. I want you to get this straight. You can no longer edit it because you can't edit. Before you edit, you have to go back to the ICT, who is at the backbone, to make a correction. But when you leave that the dummy cell, you can make a change. The score, you create 0, 0. No score at all, just leave it empty. Some of our lecturers also do that. They know what they are doing. They pretend it's a mistake not to. Then the administration will stop that. Because when you leave it empty cell, at any time, you can go ahead and edit. But when you type in 0, 0, that's complete result. 0, 0, F, it's a complete result. You can no longer edit. So that the lecturers should know exactly what they want. 0, 0, F, which is what the university wants. If you leave it empty, we'll ask you a question. Why? Why is it empty? Because, like Professor Paul was saying, results are not spiritual. They are physical attributes. There's something like missing script. Script can miss. Can never miss. Unless you are here to tell the university why that script is missing. If the person is absent, you know it's absent, they will ask you why is that student absent? You must explain everything. We are dealing with lives. And that is why attendance register comes. You must make sure that attendance register is right. So they'll sign trouble onto your head. The student may say, I checked attendance register. I was there. I took the exam. But the person was not there. Then they sign that thing on your head. Then you must try as much as possible not to allow that to occur so that nobody embarrasses you. Because those in the National Assembly, the House of Reps, what they call criminality is that election, they just want to be a citizen of election so that they can send the person to jail. Not when you steal billions of naira, that's not a crime. That's a very important thing. They are being smart. But the student failed an exam. You won't go to look at the numbers and regulations. That means that choose the lecturers. You need to be very, very, very careful. Let's go into the final year projects. Final year projects. You see, it's assumed that a student will be here with you from 100 level to 400 level and acquired virtually everything about that course, which was in the 300 level, which is the penultimate year. Preparing an independent research to take on. And the university, in their great wisdom, will attach them to a lecturer who will supervise what they want to do. See, one thing you must know is that you, the lecturer, give students research topics. Who gives a research topic should be able to write it for the students. It's an independent. They'll submit three topics. Depending on the approach here. I think 3 topics, right?
Yes.
No. What you give the topics, no. They'll submit 3 topics. Then, hold them together to look at those topics. So tell you why this topic. They give you clear reason. They really help you to expose you to some of the problems when you want to carry out this research. It's going to tell you the problem that they've observed and let them to take up this topic. Not to forcing them to accept your own topic. No. They will do that. I was interacting with the provost last night on this issue. He gave me some information about what you really like, and that is right. I believe that this research is purely independent. That they don't go, there's what they do. In Igbo, they say, people means that guy, like you have a bag. The bag is no problem. Go to the market and buy a bag. So it's there. Students want to write a project where we know that we are supposed to visit other universities and see what they are doing. We go online to see if we can get a topic relative to the experience you've gotten. You can pick a topic. You can go to Futo, collect a topic, while you photocopy the project. Bring it back here, look at Futo to work, bring it back here. And now submit the thing to the supervisor. I said, this is wonderful. Remember, it's a project already done. I've gone through all the analysis. And it's wonderful. I can do it. Without doing that, his backbone is that photocopy. The person will disappear. Next time, you bring a bottle of wine. And say, okay, I've gone to the field. Just want to tell you. It's a drink, I want to drink for break. This one is good. What's the data connection procedure? I will come back next time. It goes back with chapter 4, before you know chapter 5. And you are, as a good person, you are reading and it sounds right. Then there's Bolanchi, moved from one engine into its own vehicle and submitted to you. This is my yeah. They can't deceive you. If you know the procedure for research and supervision, you cannot. You can't move to any stage, then you be part of that movement. And ask critical questions. You must ask critical questions. And no matter how good the person is, you notice that that of can will start falling apart. Because you are following up. When you're not following up, they will give you envelope. But like this day, that. Give you envelope. Before you know it. So, external examiner will come. They will talk. See, what I'm saying is that, please, try and supervise the students. Because there's where we do it in the next university, which is what we're not going to do here. The external examiners, when they submit 4 copies, 5 copies, depending on what most you see, a copy is sent to an external examiner. And before you choose your external examiner, the university must be told, one, you will submit its CV. So that we'll find out to make sure that yes, the person you are bringing in has a good knowledge of the department in terms of courses. You submit those. Must go through Senate. Senate will approve. So that you now write the person to come for external examination. I carry these copies and send to him. He give you a date, he's coming. He come here for a day or 2 or 3, depending on the number of students. And his score is the final score. In some universities, now let's go in Abia State University, the supervisor will score. You don't know what to do here. The supervisor will score. The external examiner will also score. In most cases, you add the 2 and divide by 2. In some cases, when there is a very wide margin between the internal score and the external score, the external examiner score what? Stands. Don't change it. Then you try as much as possible as a supervisor not to run into that problem where your score is at variance with that of external examiner significantly, then there's a problem. Don't do that. Then after the processing again. With this affiliation, you can no longer graduate students. Taking over our graduation. What we need is a database. The database will graduate. Now, there are some questions. When you want to graduate these students, remember they have results from 100 level. Each of the years they have their GPA. And the graduation will not see GPA. professor was talking about carryover. When you carry over a course, maybe you 131, 100 level, you move into 200 level. Your portal will not be able to work at that level. The portal will not allow you to register any other course. You register those ones you carry over. The portal automatically presents those ones for you. I want you guys to do this. This will present those ones for you. Then the student will now register what is left. But that what is left is trying to tell you that the future is bleak. You may not graduate with these students. That thing is just telling you there. Because you have maximum number of units you have to register. It's not just like that register. No. You have 14 units first semester, 14 units second semester, 28 units. Sorry, 48 units. 24 first semester, 24 second semester. That's 48 units. Now, next session, if you are so stupid enough, you have carry over first semester, maybe up to 18 units. Second semester, another to 10 units. They drop because in their second year, the portal will present those courses already pre-registered for you. You have very few to bring in to make it another 48. Are you guys with me? Which is, if you continue that way, you must not tell me that you're staying extra year. You already know. Try to prepare the lies. You will tell your parents why you're not going. Because you can't go. Because the portal is what is affecting you. Because I know that you also have the transcript platform here on that portal. Okay? Then you can't change it. No, you cannot. That is why I was talking about if you have 0, 0, F. 0 is a score, not a null set. If it's a null set, the team ahead of the example was querying the lecture to find out why this and this. If you send it like that to true, we'll also query it. Like sometimes if that person is not a student, it's very careful if you say that is not a student. Or not a student that wrote the exam, and we are living now. If you give the student 0, 0, you also be querying it. You must tell us why a student attended the lecture, wrote an exam, scored 0. You know, it's a problem then. We, the lecturers, we have a problem. We have to try as much as possible, not to run into these type of cases. Please. Now, result approval of results. You know, when you finish marking, as my professor said, there's a time given to you to finish and submit to the actual report. Okay? But remember, you are not using e-administration. The academic board of the faculty must approve that result before you upload. Get this very straight. Remember, the system does not allow you for a own interface after uploading. After uploading, that interface is gone. You cannot edit it. Which means, during the faculty board meeting, they will look at the result and point out 1 or 2 errors. Make a correction. When it's approved, you can stay in that place and upload. The students will have their result. You don't upload first before calling board meeting. Because after calling board meeting, there's error, you're going to bring it down. Then automatically, now watch what you are looking at result. It's important. Then, that is the phase of your own. There is another phase to the main university. Because who gives the last approval of that result is the Vice Chancellor, who is the Chairman of Senate. It's the Vice Chancellor, who is the Chairman of Senate, which means that result must come over. And we cannot approve but we go through the result again. The committee must be set up at the university to look through these results. If there are queries, we'll double it back. I think to bring it down. If you have uploaded. But if it's a very serious thing, don't upload. Until we are through with your result. Bring it back to you. Upload, we upload it there. Because we're not functioning at the same school. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Yeah. Please. Not that when you finish your say that we are through, you need to just no. We have to look through. Because at times in the calculations, we say 20 plus 21. We say 48. That's a little help. Okay? We'll find that out and then make the corrections. Okay? These corrections must be done. That is why we go to what we've done. Because we own the degree. Because we are owning that degree, we also must own the result. That is why it's important we do the right thing. I mean, I would think it would be very good for university query what you presented. It's not right. Like we encountered, there's a place we encountered something. We encountered there was a very massive error. And that error continued for what we were doing. We have to ask why. Data speaks, you know that, right? Data speaks. And when you begin to speak, it does not care about you on the road to crush you. That is why we try as much as possible since we're dealing with data. Very, very careful. And what to do as students to get that. If, for example, like my own teacher was saying, you will have a relationship with a student. To the extent that you want to help the student. To the extent you want to help the student. We are not saying you shouldn't have it. We are not telling you. We all have our friends. We all have our friends. But try to make sure that whatever constitutes your backup, that backup which is the marking scheme will protect you. The marking scheme will protect you. Now, outside that marking scheme, remember we talked about 30%, which is continuous assessment. And the thing is cement. I think we took out 1 hour. Is it the test to get the students? Is it attendance? Is it how fine the person is? Is it remember, it's at the whips and caprices of the lecturer. You know that. That's your own power base. That's the power base of 30%. And that power base may ruin you not having it well. That 30%. Great development. If you see the side of Harvard College, you will disappear. But that 30% is for you. You must be careful on how you manage that 30%. Our 30%. Very, very important. So that when a student raises argument, they're going to defend it. What some people do is that attendance carries some scores. They have half marks. They don't have any lectures. No 15 weeks consistency. We don't have any lectures. Okay, let me give 10 marks for attendance. It's large. Because what they want to defend that attendance. Quizzes is this. So that when somebody asks you a question, you are the template to show this is how I wanted that mathematics. This is important. But in most cases, it is your power. Not what you say. Somebody as a man, anytime we're doing about projection, writing said, God, make everything English, that's what God. You are the Lord of the yam and the knife. You have the power of God. We will give, you will eat. See, this life is the most. And now the God. That is the yam. Who will come on the table. Remember that there are regulations. You can't come to a class of 30%. And between the 2020, 25, 2025, 2025, you see 5, 2, 0. Then you ask for them, you see that the person attended all the lectures. There is a problem. And don't allow your course to motivate the attendance register. The motivation intended to punished. Because it's you that's going to give up the answer about that motivation. Which is a problem. Allow you to give that motivation. I think on this note, gentlemen, by tomorrow we're going to continue with ethics. I will now invite. What's the time? Do we still have some time?
I think so for this is 2:18.
We still have time. You want to say it will end like 3 or 4. And so we can finish tomorrow. Right, Mr. Ike. Mr. Ike is the deputy boss of the United States University. He's a money man. We're coming here. Let me say something. When we're coming here from the office of the provost, when we were going, he was entering the bus in.
I would request that you kindly help us to make emphasis on this portal, especially to display of the topic. I think the deputy my registrar was not around when we were asking for the man on the screen. I don't know if I have the permission. That is how I see it.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yes, he requested, he was following, but by the time we were talking, he said he was not hearing it, he was into this time.
Let's talk about the portal. It's the base of the administration. The portal is the base of the administration. It's trying to solve most of the problems we encounter with processing, presentation of results. With the portal, some of our problems have been relieved. But one interesting thing about the portal is that the identities must be real. A student comes into the university, go online to register his courses. By regulation, you cannot attend a lecture for a course you did not register. And in registering these courses, let's go back to 100 level. When you admit, go through a screening process. The portal now will do the screening. Because there is no interface between that student and you. Just go in, register his or create his biodata. Creating the biodata, goes into the issue of registration. And you know that you cannot, I don't know here, you can't register without paying your fees. It's attached to school fees. Only those who pay fees will have access to the course registration templates. Because when you have access to the course registration template and register the course, the platform will not be waiting for your results. Remember, you have not paid fees. Because you have not paid fees, you will have access to that. As soon as you have paid the fees, you will now go to register your courses. The system will allow you to register as prescribed by the departmental documentation on the registrable number of units. At the back of your mind, that will say that this document will not allow students to have it. All things concerning their stay here, both academic and non-academic issues. So that they know the impact of registration of courses. You must pass all the courses you are registering. And when you register those courses, the next thing is to do their lectures, write the exams, and the lecturers will have to do their own job. If the processes are followed, after marking, goes to the faculty board, the faculty approves, comes out soon, we approve, you have to upload your results. After uploading the results, you have no power, no lecturer has the power to offer any of the results without the knowledge of as manager of the department. As the ICT one, this man here can't tamper with any result without taking. And he knows the regulation of the university. You must ask questions. Why do you want to change score? So you have no right. Remember that this score is a little. I want to change. If you want to change, there must be a relationship between him and the man to see how far the thing is going. That is why you must make sure you stand by your inputs. After the registration, it is the system that will the GP, not you. You don't just key the scores. After keying the scores, the system will calculate the GP, calculate the GPA. And the transcript platform will take over for the graduating students. Students can be graduated that same day. The final result is sent in because the transcript platform will generate that. You can finish uploading it now. By 4 p.m. you can bring out the degree results. 4 p.m. is in fact. The degree result is ready. Those that are qualified, the platform will generate that. For the vice chancellor to sign to prepare for Senate, you download and will send to the vice chancellor for Senate approval. And the vice chancellor can also approve on behalf of Senate, depending on time. You can approve on behalf of Senate. The thing will appear. Which means that there are things you can do under the result which you are used to. You can keep changing scores. Like me, Jerry, when I will come to you, see, I'm not sure. I said, okay, help me now. Beg. I said, okay, let me help you. Change. You know, if it's the girl that came, you'll be accused of
Sexual harassment.
sexual harassment. It's a girl, it's a boy, it's not sexual harassment. You know. But this time, to solve that problem, the portal is there. You know, at the point it becomes read only. When it becomes read only, it's not editable. Now, in terms of relationship between him and Uduru, the platform does the same thing. The only thing is that we need to reach a compromise. Figures and figures. And results then from ourselves. Where there will be little debate is where procedures are not followed. When procedures are not followed, we may ask him for an explanation. We explain. And outside, I don't see any conflict. It's the easiest thing to do. Even the easiest way to graduate students, and even the fastest, as long as the databases are right. Remember, the databases are drawn from the departments. Each year, when approval is given, the platform keeps the result on this transcript, the platform, until the last, which is the final year. You know, we are. I use the word final year. Please. Sorry, I didn't say that. Final year is not the fourth year. It is a 4-year degree. That's not the final year. Final year is the 6th year. If you are running a course that is 4 years, the final year is the 6th year. Graduation begins from the 4th year. Where you could not make up in the 4th year, move into the 500 level on that course. Remember, it's weighing down the CGP. Because as long as you're taking those courses, the CGP, which constitutes the degree, going down. It's bad. When you're a Johnson, you don't clear it in the 500, 550, you move into the 6th year. The same course. The university has not sent you away. You do it in the 6th year. Carry all those carryovers you are packing. You want to pack them and leave, so you can go. If in the 6th year you couldn't make it, the university senate will not stand here. They will advise you to withdraw. They will advise you to withdraw to one or to change course. Because I found out that you're not dying writing exams. Maybe your spirit is in another department, and the body is in another department. Those are nice to change course. Like me, those in final year don't use the word final. In 400, they don't use the word 500, final year don't. Those if I say no, you're in the 400 level. You may graduate at that 400 level, depending on what I'm discussing. How strong and wonderful you are in your courses. We will proceed to the 5th year. Our interest is to pay the fees. We must pay those fees. We move to the 6th year. The best will not able to stop paying. We are there to save you. You know. Why I know why I'm saying this. So that not when a student who make the 4th year, you tell the person to go. No. Let them know free to go to the 5th year and the 6th year, but they must pay their fees. They pay their fees. and you graduate, then you're going down to plastic. Like my uncle was saying, I had to go with plastic. At that time, you have already decided to make plastic. Nobody. Because you're able to go in that way. For every cost taken through carryover has an impact on the city at the end. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir.
My friend, I think we are yes. On that note, I thank you for this.
Yeah, the protocol is already established. Therefore, I stand on that established protocol. Let me appreciate everyone here. I want to believe that the non-teaching staff are here. Anybody from Buzzard?
Yes, sir.
Is there Buzzard?
Yes.
You know, every eye is on you. Are you aware? Huh?
Yes, sir.
I have not gotten this, I have not gotten that. What are you saying now? There is no money for this, and you tell them to go down, no money for now. It's everywhere. Praise God. Just like any other organization, the institution has an attorney. Is it true? Who is our hem of affairs? The provost. The provost. Okay? Do you have the provost? You don't? The provost. For us, it is the vice chancellor. For us, it is the vice chancellor. Then you have the DBC, the deputy vice chancellor. Then you have the registrar, you have the bossa, you have the librarian. These are the principal officers of the institution. We also call the management they have the people managing the affairs of the institution on day-to-day basis. Now, as we can see the chain, both the BBC, registrar, the bossa, and the librarian are all responsible to go to the BBC or the provost. If for another thing else, now that the provost is not here, is he here? That the registrar must be here. Are we getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, do we ask ourselves the question, why must the registrar be here? Why must the registrar be here?
Because the registrar is the secretary to the money. That's
Okay, that's one. Yes. Okay, that's interesting. Now, is there any law that establishes this institution? Is there any law? Huh? There is a law that establishes this institution. Who has it? Not the provost. Talked about academic regulations and all the laws. The registrar is the custodian. The registrar is the custodian. That is why at any point in time, he or she is consulted by the vice chancellor or the provost. Vice chancellor cannot take any decision in absence of the registrar on his own. Why?
because registrar is the custodian of all the laws that establish the institution. If you don't know it now. So, for the purpose of this sharing, I am asked to talk on the registry, the bursar, and admissions unit. The registry is a department, just like the bursar is a department, and the library is a department. That is administrative departments. Before you have academic departments. The academic departments, I think my colleague has already dealt with that. The team is always the chairman, unlike the non-academic departments, where you have the registry. The registrar is the head of the registry. You have other units in the registry, like the exams and records. You have Senate affairs. That is why the registrar is always supported by other officers. In other state university, they are all deputy registrars. The man in charge of Senate affairs is a deputy registrar. The man in charge of exams and records is a deputy registrar. The man in charge of central registry, personnel unit. You have your personnel unit. Okay. And the admissions unit. They are all deputy registrars responsible to the registrar. Responsible to the registrar. They give registrars day-to-day information about their units. If it is a thing that must get to the management, it is the registrar that will take it to the management. Unlike the first speaker said, if for any reason there is anything that will attract a setting of panel, Vice Chancellor will need to the registrar. The Vice Chancellor won't take decision on its own. We need to the registrar. Registrar, what did the regulation say? And the registrar will interpret the regulation and bring it back to the Vice Chancellor. If it is a thing that requires a panel, that will be panel. If it is not, if it is something they can deal administratively, they will go on ahead and deal it with that administratively. Then, of course, what happens if any person takes the institution to court? The registry. Oh, the registry. I cannot take those. The registry. He is there to bring the law of the institution. In terms of employment, the registrar. You have the career structure, you have the condition of service. Registrar is the custodian. And on his behalf, if it is on staff and staff matters, the person in charge of personnel will go through the regulations and advise the registrar, and the registrar will take it up with the management. And you can see that the center of administration in any higher institution is the registrar. No institution can do without the registrar. But academically and non-academically, it's a registrar. It has a lot of I was wondering when I saw him there, I was thinking maybe he doesn't have sufficient hands. That will be taking records on most of the things that are discussed, because those that pertain to academics, the man in charge of Senate affairs will be taking records because they are the things that will appear in the Senate. He has to interpret the academic regulation to the registrar, and the registrar will take up that responsibility of taking it to the management. Or if it is Senate, registrar is the secretary to the Senate. If it is council, registrar is the secretary to the council. So he is so important. Then who is the registrar? He is the chief administrative officer of any institution. What did I say? He is the chief administrative officer of any institution. While the provost or the vice chancellor is what? Who can tell us? The chief executive. Thank you. Is the chief executive. So there is no decision on his own, the captain, without consultation with the registrar. He said in universities, it is the registrar that keeps records. It is the registrar that does what? The seal of the institution. You have seals, sir?
Yeah.
Is the registrar. The articles of authority and the other documents pertaining to investing governance, they are all centered onto the registry. This makes the registry department very vital in the management of the universities. Like I said before, the registrar is the chief executive officer of the university and is in charge of the registry. He is in charge of the registry. And is responsible, directly responsible to the vice chancellor or the provost. For the day-to-day running of the administration of the institution, she helped the university to implement policy decisions. He or she. Policy decisions. Therefore, the role of the registrar is instrumental to the achievement of the goals and of the university. For any organization to have sound decision making, there is need to have effective and efficient record keeping. Is it true? You know, records are like human beings. Huh? They stay, they will expire. The human being stays at the point the human being will expire. A lot of records are kept in universities. These records need proper filing. Proper what? Filing. Storage. So that you can retrieve them where there is need. And after a set period, according to the law, the records can now be disposed. Anyone that is still current, you cannot do what? Do away with. You cannot, no matter who you are. And that is why it is important and very, very important that the person of the registrar must be versatile in the day-to-day running of the institution. He or she must be versatile. like I mentioned before, you have the other units. As a registry is a department. Under the registry, you have units. I mentioned exams and records. Is it true?
Yes, sir.
Admissions. Senate matters, personnel, council unit, and etc. Let us assume today or tomorrow there will be a council meeting. It is in the regulation that the governing council of the institution will be meeting how many times in a year to look into the affairs of the institution. That the institution is going to appoint a legal advisor, going to appoint an external auditor. They are all in the regulation. Some of them are council matters, which the registrar will draw the attention of the vice chancellor, and the vice chancellor will draw the attention to the governing council. The governing council, in its wisdom, will appoint an auditor, will appoint a legal advisor, will appoint all those who have to initiate all these things. Now let us just pick a unit out of the whole units. Admissions office. My prof appreciated the institution while we were coming. We saw a crowd that was moving, and the information was that these are year one students that just finished their exams. Well and good. And then that's also there was some recognition of the institution. The admissions unit is a unit under the registrar, headed by a deputy registrar. One, a deputy registrar. Because this is a person who has grown in the system. Maybe at a point he was a clerk. Are you getting what I'm saying? Maybe at a point he was a clerk. From improving himself academically and otherwise, he rose to the rank of the deputy registrar. And therefore is a potential registrar. The deputy registrar is a potential registrar. Tomorrow the registrar may retire and that deputy registrar, no, that person. You can't go, in appointing a registrar, you can't go outside the institution. That is in the law that established the institution. I don't know how it is there, but like in Accra State University, the appointment of a registrar, the appointment of a bursar, the appointment of a university librarian, they are all in the law. And the law says, who must have been a deputy registrar in case of the registrar? The law says, who must have been a deputy registrar for so number of years. Why is it important? That underscores the fact that that person has mastered the system. We are not going to take anything about the system. A lot of regulations were referred to. All those regulations and all the rest of them, it is the registrar that will always bring up. Registrar, set a panel. Registrar, do this. Registrar, do that. Registrar, do this. That is based on the regulation. He cannot ordinarily formulate anything on his own. No. So that is why in that unit is a deputy registrar that will head it. And that deputy registrar will always liaise with the registrar and give the registrar information on day-to-day arrivals in that unit, whatever they. Now, is it true that a student, due to ignorance, knowing also that the highest mountain in the life of any individual is the level of his or her ignorance, who is admitted to a particular institution, can ignorantly not register his or her studentship? Huh? Is it possible? Good. Now, when students are admitted, their first point of call is the admissions office. Why the admissions office? Well, that is the unit that has the list of all the admitted students. And when you come, you have your admission evidence. You present it, you go to the admissions unit, you present it. The admission officer will say, okay, you go there and tick your name that you have come. The next thing will be to instruct you to go and pay acceptance fee. That in ABSU, there is what we call acceptance slip. Acceptance slip. Recently, it has been changed. It was given to you. That's an acceptance slip. If you are not given acceptance slip, you can't get acceptance slip. That acceptance slip will authorize you to go to bursary. And the bursary will now, maybe when I will talk about it, I will take it up. The bursary will now say, all right, look at the fee commensurate to your discipline. They will give you what we call charge list. You go and pay. When you pay, it is automatic. You have registered. The portal will now take you, issue you with a matriculation. Immediately you pay your fees, your matriculation number is there. Once your fee show, your matriculation number follows it. It's automatic. You don't. But then what of those who did not report to there was a case that was referred to me some time ago. A student who came just from the gate, asked questions, and he was informed of where the department is. He rushed straight to the department without getting to the admissions office. The man representing the registrar at the department didn't ask him questions because he didn't present himself also there. The next day, he went into lecture room and started attending lectures, not knowing what to do. Remember, I said the level, saying that any person's level of ignorance is the highest mountain he or she has. Then, as time went on, he didn't interact with others. He didn't ask questions. He has no matriculation number. He has nothing at all. There is no indication that he has registered as a student. And this person has gone up to 300 level. Year 1, year 2, year 3. I was writing the exams with his name because he doesn't have the matric number. Mother, what are we going to do? We took this thing, we don't name him as a student after 3 years. So if you're the person's father, what are you going to do? Will you be happy? So eventually, when the father came, he was asked to write. He wrote first to the registrar. The registrar said no. Write to the Vice Chancellor who will authorize him to handle the matter. He wrote to the Vice Chancellor. Vice Chancellor communicated to the registrar. The registrar took the academic regulation and said, this is a Senate matter. So the Vice Chancellor said, all right, enlist in the next Senate meeting. And at the end, one of those students was asked to completely withdraw. That we don't know, the university has not recognized him as a student. He went and brought his admission because admission, JAMB will always send admission letter. He went and brought his admission letter. He said, okay, go to Abuja and take it up with them. Number one, in the university, in other state university, you will get your JAMB admission letter, and the university will give you their own admission letter. There will be two admission letters. There will be two admission letters. I don't know how you do it there. The university will give you, JAMB will give you. And now you will make use of it. You will make use of it. With it, the one that the university will give you is the one that admissions unit that admitted you will give on behalf of the university, duly signed by the admission officer. Then from there, you will be given directives. Present the admission unit will look into your credentials, whether you are qualified. Where you are qualified, you will be admitted. Where you are not qualified, the admission unit will tell you you are not qualified to read this course. But the question is, what do I do? When you are not qualified to read that course, two things await you. JAMB is calling you, come and write me again. Admission, at the end of each admission year, the admission officer will make a list of all admitted students, department by department. It is the admission unit that issues matriculation numbers in bulk to each department. They will give them in bulk. Maybe from this range to this range, this department has it. From that range to that range, that department, it is based on the number of students admitted. If, for instance, in accountancy, 100 students are admitted, they will issue matriculation numbers up to that 100 and give to that department. Then whoever is representing the registrar of that unit will now start issuing it as the students come to collect them. That was before. But this time around, everything is in the portal. Everything is in the portal. The admission unit will still give them, allocate matriculation numbers to them. Knowing the importance of records, administrators in charge of records should be very cautious in the ways they handle records to avoid modeling things up. But that will eventually set into confusion while looking for records. To enhance keeping of record. Information can be on paper. Information of what you have can be on paper, can be on audio tapes, video tapes, and so on. And all these things are handled by the registry departments. However, There are some problems in keeping school records. There are some problems. The first is that record management policy is not available in most universities, leading to confusion of administrators on what principles of record keeping they will follow. Basic record manuals are not always available. University record manuals are not always available in order to give you a directive. Also, most of the personnel handling the records are not trained in record management handling. And that leads to poor performance in record management, in record keeping. If the personnel handling those records are not properly trained, take for instance, a clerk who doesn't know what it means to keep record of a particular unit is asked to, something happens somewhere. In one of the units, a junior officer, because of the person at the helm of affairs of that unit, he prefers his brother that was the junior officer to be at the head of that unit. Now, because of it, he transferred the senior members of staff who were there before he came. Now, when he came, he discovered that those officers being there would not allow him to have his way. He transferred them out and went and brought a junior officer who is new in the system, to handle that unit. So after 10 years, according to the regulation, there was visitation. That was not visitation. Because one day this institution will face visitation. So that was visitation. And then that young man could not tell any story of what that unit was all about. Say, okay, who appointed you to be the head? He said the man at the head of affairs of that unit, of that department. Who was the man? He gave his name, and it was discovered it was his brother. So because he wanted to use his brother, so he now appointed him to head that unit. Now when the visitors finished their work, they wrote a very bad recommendation to that unit. And what happened? The man who was at the helm of affairs at that time was asked personally to refund some amount of money by the visitation panel. That raised a very big argument. Did I do it as a person? I did it as the head of the department. And the question was, why must you use a junior officer who does not understand the system? Sometimes you see such things. You avoid them. You must avoid them. This time around, by the grace of God, I think there's a lot of improvement. You have the administration. The computers are there now to help us keep adequate record. Is it true? All that is required is to have manpower training. You train the people that are are supposed to handle those offices, and they will do it better. That is the function of the registry, to give training to workers from time to time. Because those workers cannot on their own recommend themselves for training. It is the registry that will recommend to the administration that this is important, that is important, in order to keep the system going, and everybody will be happy. Just like the first speaker said, a person who comes into this institution and spends more than, the person has a 4-year program, and at the end will spend up to 5-6 years. With the parents, they happy, maybe as a result of not keeping adequate record by the officers who are supposed to do that. Situations arise where records that are not properly kept cannot give adequate information to actually allow the students go at the time they are supposed to go. Therefore, the registry must always be up and going. There is also lack of adequate computers and to manage the volume of records generated costing of high school enrollment. Like I said, we saw a graph. The institution may not have enough computers or units or managers that will manage those units that will enable the enrollment to go on smoothly. That will create a problem. The attitude of staff towards records and record management leaves much to be desired and add to the challenges of record keeping. That is why it is necessary that from time to time they should be encouraged. They should involve themselves into training, into upgrading themselves from time to time. Furthermore, staff level of workload and the high student enrollment also constitute a problem. And situations arise where some people may be preferred than others. Something maybe that in the registry department, something the person in the exams and records is supposed to handle, then it will be minuted to somebody in personnel. Do we see any difference? Huh? For somebody in personnel to handle such matters that is supposed to be handled in exams and records. Because I don't like the face of the person who is in exams and records. So I minute it to somebody in personnel. Are we getting what I'm saying? Good. Sometimes it may cause a very big problem in the system. Lack of training may also cause a very big problem in the system, where they don't have adequate knowledge. That is where the registrar must always wake up in order to see successors. Because when he leaves, that institution should not die. The institution must go on. And therefore, others behind him must be trained from time to time in order to measure up. To ameliorate the problems, the university management and those handling the records should develop a positive attitude toward records and implement record management performance in order to save the situation. Also, enough computers should be acquired to enhance the process. There will be need for training and retraining of staff handling records to enhance their efficiency. There will be need for that. students' enrollment is not properly handled, you wouldn't know who would graduate when. You wouldn't know who is at what level. If the person has a problem in his or her department, and admission is, the registrar is required to give information on when that student was admitted. The registrar cannot give it ordinarily on his own. He will minute it to admissions office. Admissions office will say, okay, this person was admitted in this year, he's supposed to have graduated or otherwise. So it is very, very important. Take it. It is very, very important. All right, sir. Oga has just reminded me it is 3 o'clock. And perhaps that's why there was somebody I saw that passed some minutes ago. Not later than some 5 minutes after I started, that man passed. I don't know how many of you that saw him. He was Mr. Sleep. And when he comes to you, he will tell you, let us go, you will say, yes, sir. And any other thing that is going on. So, sir, I caught the lecture there, and of course, we will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we will take on cost management. So that's where bursary comes in. And so
The most important component of the class.
the most important component. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
I know that it was a long day. Candidates all will achieve. So by tomorrow, we'll do the rating. I know that it's not about sleep. I don't go to sleep and sleep, which means we're all functioning. We're ready to go. But we are ready to go to the goings of what is happening now. On behalf of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Maxwell Gulu, thank you for today. I will be with you early tomorrow so that we can allow what is left. Because we're spending tomorrow, so at the end, the institution will entertain us. I did what entertain us. Including you. When I say us, you are part of us, not me alone. You know, I wish you well. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Please, we are encouraged to be seated by 9:45. Please, let everybody be seated by 9:45. And we should not just come to sit while coming. If you have any question, remember we are the driver of this store. Let's come with all necessary questions. Prof is open. If you know if you judge Prof by his face, you will be wrong. You will want to run away. That's the truth. But I remember following to his hotel, and it was laughter all the way. Then please, I want to encourage us to come up with all our questions and thank you.